We've all seen the headlines. Protests against immigration enforcement spanning the U.S., including one of the largest happening right now in Chicago. It's been happening for several days now, where 3 demonstrators were arrested today alone. Really, it's a sign of the passion and the divide surrounding a pretty controversial and highly nuanced conversation. How people accused of being in the country illegally are being treated and in some cases labeled. Thanks for staying with us here on 4. I'm Cameron Bopp.
And I'm Avery Martinez, and I've covered immigration in some capacity for the past decade. And one constant is change and concern. Immigration enforcement goes beyond the raids and the pickups. It involves sometimes years of legal actions, being moved to new areas, and even challenges talking to the outside world. It's a national event, but it affects people right here in St. Louis.
And we are tracking that local fallout and also growing calls for action after a nationwide increase in roundups and 2 recent cases here at home, both involving men detained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement after nonviolent offenses. Those men later taking their own lives while in ICE custody.
The most recent was earlier this week, actually, at the St. Genevieve Detention Center, and Leo Cruz Silva was his name. But how did he wind up in that facility?
Well, answering that question can be complex. Groups, though, like the Micah Project, can help shine a light on the conditions inside these facilities.
I'm frequently in contact with people in these jails. Unfortunately, they're not being treated very well. The harsh reality is that many of the detainees, they have little access to their families, they have little access to their attorneys.
Advocates have told us their clients come from all over the globe, not just South America, many facing dangerous conditions and hope for some level of residency in the United States. St. Louis Public Radio reporter Brian Munoz has been following immigration and ICE actions for years.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement has been in the St. Louis area. They have offices here. Their enforcement efforts aren't new. But I think what is new is the increase in scrutiny, they've had for some of these folks that have been in the system for a long time, maybe are working through their asylum cases, maybe are waiting for their court dates.
So let's talk about ICE actions. According to data from ICE, between 2020 and January of this year, there were over 35,000 arrests made just in the Chicago field office area. And the Chicago office covers parts of Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana, even Wisconsin and Oklahoma. Now, multiple counties and jails in Missouri partner with ICE to house detainees, including the St. Genevieve County Detention Center. Advocates say that earlier this summer, there were about 60 ICE holds in that facility. But as of yesterday, they estimated there were over 100. The exact number? Tough to track down because they could change daily, and there are no public rosters for ICE detainees in that facility.
That's where Cruz Silva was housed, and that one is not even known for the worst conditions, I'm told. In Phelps County, a different jail there that once contracted with ICE had conditions described as abysmal. We're talking no windows, overcrowding, and smells of raw sewage there. That is also where another detainee, arrested for another nonviolent offense, reportedly died by suicide in recent months.
The vast majority of detainees that I've been working with have been arrested simply for failure to use a turn signal correctly. That's not something that you're normally arrested for. Detainees are being held among actual criminals, people who commit violent crimes, repeat offenders, U.S. citizens who are actual criminals. Yet their conditions are the same.
Immigration and customs enforcement operations are large and complex, and the federal government shutdown has affected the availability of some data.
And when we talk about the individuals at the center of that data and the ongoing ICE holds, we are talking about real people here. One of them, according to ICE, Cruz Silva, took his own life while in ICE custody here in our area.
A lot of people have little to no criminal history, yet these circumstances are so bad that they really see no other option.
Leo Cruz Silva was arrested in Festus last week for public intoxication. He was never charged for the crime before being transferred to the St. Genevieve County Jail, where he died last Saturday.
Now, ICE confirms he did have previous contact with the agency, including a prior deportation, also some criminal charges, none for violent offenses. They say he did enter the U.S. illegally several times. We have tried to locate family members or a photo of him, but so far we have not been successful. For First Alert 4.
I'm Avery Martinez.
And I'm Cameron Bopp.